Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate InvestHER Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andresa.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andresa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate InvestHER Show. Excited about today's episode because Andresa and I went to go see a bunch of properties in Florida for a vacation rental. And we are talking part 2 on this minisode about why you must visit the market that you are looking to invest in. It's a must. So Andresa, I'm excited to get into that right today.
I am, because we make so much assumptions, right? Looking online and having Zoom calls and looking at the data. Don't get us wrong, right? That is always essential for you to evaluate the property. But there are so many things wrong assumptions that we made, good assumptions that we made that really will make the change on how we evaluate. So this is data that we could not have gotten online. So we're going to dissect that for you, what we have learned and what can you get when you are looking at an out-of-state investment property.
I love this topic, Andresa, because there are two different schools of thought. There are people that would say, you don't need to actually go physically to the property or the market. And there's a lot to be done as leveraging teams and what have you. And you hear people, right, talk about it on a podcast. I built my portfolio without ever stepping foot in that state or that market. And good for them. That's great. I think there's so much value that you're missing when you're not doing that. And that's what we're going to jump in today. So let's talk about the market.
Mm-hmm.
The market's the first piece of the puzzle. And there's multiple pieces of the puzzle. We're going to talk about market. We're going to talk about properties, I should say, and obviously team. So what surprised you the most when we actually went to Florida about the market? We knew a bunch. We did some research, but what did you get that you couldn't have gotten from Google?
From Google, our friend Google. So just to give a context, right? This is a series that we are talking here. And if you missed the first one, we're going to put the link on the show notes for the part 1 series. But we are looking at a short-term rental, a luxury property. So the range is going to be around $4 or $5 million, 8-9 bedrooms. That's what the context here. So of course, we got comps and actives and we had schedules. But from the airport, right, when we get the rental car and when we were driving to the destination, that's when our experience kicks in, right? What are we looking at? We're looking at construction on that road. We are looking at developments on the side. We are seeing the transition. We're looking at the details of the colors of the buildings to see, okay, this is more older looking, brownish, colorish. Oh, this is for sure newer, white, black, like slick cut. You can see those things that you couldn't get when we were there, right? So and you make assumptions like, okay, this is an older location. What is crowded in New Jersey is not crowded in Florida. And those are assumptions over there. But where I got surprised in a good way is that the location that we are looking at, it is stable. However, there are plenty of new construction going on and plenty of other opportunities that we can totally see it, that we did not see it before.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to get it by driving around and really creating the story about that specific market.
I think the other big piece when you're actually driving around and you're there physically is this wonderful experience of the submarkets. So Andresa and I, even before we said, these are some of the properties, they were in 2 different neighborhoods, some of the properties. And we said, from what we're seeing, we really like, we like neighborhood A. We don't like neighborhood B, actually. And then when we went to the properties and experienced the towns, we flipped that. We said, actually, we really like B because of, actually, it was half the taxes. And for a few other reasons, we liked that. And A, just didn't seem as appropriate as what we were thinking before we got there. So again, literally, you could flip your hunches when you don't know that market inside out, more importantly, the submarkets and where you're driving. We were able to drive to how many communities, Andresa, when we were on our way to dinners We learned so
Several.
much about who's coming here. Why are they coming here? Where are they coming from?
What
Who
they're
is coming
eating,
here?
what is available for hospital, for food,
Yep.
lifestyle, the cars that we saw it. You can start like, okay, A, B, C neighborhood, what's going on over here, who you're serving, where is our avatar is
Yep.
going to be hanging. I think that I like that a lot. One thing that you're saying, Liz, is like really identifying the bubble, right? Where is the bubble? Because I don't want to be inside the bubble. So we had to identify that we want to be outside the bubble, which leads me to the property, right? I was disappointed with the that was my biggest take regarding the property. I was freaking disappointed, pissed off with the designs and architect drawings that whoever did that for the new construction properties.
Yeah.
Did not make sense to me. A couple of the design choices that was made, how you call it, slapjack? What is it?
Slapjack. Yeah.
Slapjack job just to, build that up and rent it out. Amazing property that can fit 20, 25 people inside.
Yeah.
But
Then you
they
can see the beach.
small-
You could see the
You
beach.
can see the beach
Yeah.
with this tiny hot tub on the outside. No outdoor kitchen, no nothing. I was like, oh my gosh. And another one, that you can see the beach too. No views. What? Like, what happened? You just like recycle the architect drawings from another location and just like put it here. And we were so excited to see those properties. And then when we saw that, we're like, oh, no,
Yep.
not at all.
I love what you said. We were going through what is it, $4 million property. And we looked out the window and then Jessica goes, I do not want to see a sign that says $9.99, come get your floats, And so now, would you have been able to see that on the listing? No, the listings don't include, now you can do an aerial view, of course, or, but if there's something so powerful about being there that, literally on the left, right, we see all these signs and it's just an astute point Andresa made about, here you are sitting in this $4 million property and what's next to it is an eyesore. And then we go to another property right next to it, learning a little about the owner, because a lot of these properties are shifting hands, generations, right? The older generations holding on to some of the older ones. If they're not, all of them are getting redeveloped. So another eyesore. Interesting, right? Could be good, could be not so good. So again, it's that holistic approach when you're looking at the property. It's not just the property, because if it's just the property, yeah, you can get someone to go do a walkthrough for you. Real estate's more than that. We know that. And that's what those eyes, you have to have those eyes on everything. 360.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is the key. Like, what your experience is going to bring in here, because this is a short-term rental, a luxury one. We're focusing on the experience, and the experience does not start when people check in. The experience starts where they're going to park. There's one property that you need to go in the back of the house.
Yeah.
I'm a woman. I don't want to go in the back of a house, park my car in the back of anything, right? Not doing that, right? So everything I'm thinking, like, there was one, remember that one that I said, there's a mole, like a
The house
beautiful
looked like a mole.
The house next door looked like a mole, right? Not disrespecting it, but
Yeah.
that's the first thing that came
Literally,
out of
it
my
was
mouth.
circular, everybody, just to give you all a visual look. It looked like a little pop-up mole.
Indeed. And there was things growing out of the roof, right? Does that affect the experience of the people that are going to be renting my property? Yes. Yes. So if I were the developer, buy that. Do whatever you need to do in order to buy that, because it's dropping like pretty quick.
Yep.
It went down on the driveway. When I look at that, I was like, oof, down.
Yep.
Right? Pretty quick. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is team, right? We can totally build relationship with people through Zooms, with messages, and emails. But Liz, you're the expert in building relationships here. So what you got out of it?
Yeah, I think it was a huge, huge learning for us and just a huge experience in that we met with two realtors, great agents. But it's not just the walking the property of vetting the team. It's the chatting after the property, getting to know them more personally, getting to know their history in that market. learning about all the other pieces of the puzzle, the taxes we learned, right? About why one community is literally one of the most fastest growing communities of the country, why their taxes are what they are, and why they're so much higher than literally the town over. That's half the taxes, right? Could I have Googled? Maybe. Could I have figured that out from a tax assessor and not been there? Maybe. But in a few minutes, I got that information from the person we're building the relationship with. So again, the key is, who do you need to have on that team and who can be a resource to you? And again, beyond agents, I like to think of team as a holistic approach. The team is also the people you talk to, the people you meet, local investors. Now, we didn't meet any local investors, but the two agents were also investors themselves. So they had that role within it, which was great. They had a hat on. I talked to a gentleman on the way there. And Justin and I like to sit next to each other. I got upgraded.
You got
And she was very
upgraded,
sad
people. Yes.
about that. But I was
Shame her. Please shame her on the comments that she left me.
So I was talking to this gentleman and he gave me his perspective, and I picked his brain the whole time about and a bunch of other things. He was a pilot, learned a lot about other things, but with regards to the market and to the properties and what the view is from people and the, things that you're just not going to be able to get. So think of team as holistic. Think of team as you're putting a deposit in the relationship. If I then said to, and this is the last thing I'll say, if we said to these agents, you know what, we're very serious about buying a property, and we just kept emailing them, send me a new listing, send me a new listing, send me a new listing. Don't you think it's a little different now that we've been there?
We have bought completely different properties.
But I'm saying the investment we made in that time, investment of time, taking our weekend, Andresa and I love real estate. So, and we have fun together too. We laughed a lot. But we really, we made an investment in the relationship and in the market. Now, whether we make offers on these 3 or 4 properties is kind of here or nor there. We're not attached to that. But that's a huge relation. Like, they're going to take you seriously. Someone gets on a plane from Pennsylvania to Florida. All right, I'm going to take these people seriously. Then the next real estate agent, and there's a long line of them, right, that say, send me your listings. I'm just like everyone else. Well, you know what? We differentiated ourselves and we differentiated our seriousness.
Yeah.
That
And I
matters.
think they get to know us, right? What we were looking at when I came across a property that the circle was all coming out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, who, right? What's happening here? But I think that the other thing that I really liked about them, the side scoop of the market, but they also gave us great tips of experiences. We went to a local restaurant over there because I want to eat the food. I want to drink the coffee. I want to go to the breakfast place because those are the areas, the places that my avatar that we're serving, the guests that are renting the short-term rental, that's what they're going to do, right? So they didn't say, oh, just go to Starbucks right here in the corner. No, no, no. Go to this local coffee place and they have this English muffin there, and go to this breakfast area here. And by the way, there is this flea market happening here. There is this fair happening there. So you start seeing like who is doing what there. That's like an inside scoop. How easy it is to get there. How easy it is to park. I am like walking the walk as if I am my avatar. And then that gives me much more confidence into really saying, okay, market plus property plus team equals deal, because it's all needs to match, right?
Yep.
And that's an experience that they're going to be getting. All needs to match. Overall, I think we are on the right track, and I stay tuned, people, because we record a ton of bits and pieces of videos about what was coming up for us as we were doing it. So if you are looking to invest outside, we are going to be sharing our journey to buy a short-term rental out of state. Stay tuned and ask questions. If you're curious about what happened here, what happened there, or if you have a situation that you want to share with us, ask away. We're here to serve. All right. Thank you so much. Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.